So today I came to the realization that we all want to feel, loved, wanted, and we all strive in one way or the other to become someone who is lovable. And in the process of trying to become that person who is lovable, that person who will be accepted for, quote and unquote, who they really are, we constantly tweak our personalities, tweak who we are, our essence, our being, the traits that make us who we really are. We keep altering who we are just in a bid to find acceptance, just in a bid to find love. And it's a constant struggle. How much is too much? How far should we go to be accepted and loved? How much is too much? Where does it end? This constant tweaking and, revamping our personalities, refining our wants. So for example, as a single lady in your 20s, you have your list. This is who I want. This is who I am. This is the kind of person I want to be with. And then you hit 30 and then you now start making, concessions. Okay, he doesn't need to be tall anymore. Oh, I can manage him even if we're not in the same religion. I can marry someone else of my religion, and then, you start making compromises. Yes, I agree that there are certain things that we can compromise on, the vanity points, for lack of a better example. But when it comes to character, there's some just qualities that should not be tweaked, that should not be adjusted. And I still maintain, based on the example I'm giving, then you hit 35 and you say, okay, even if he's a womanizer, I can deal, I can forgive him, I'm a woman, we are more accommodating and all that. And then you hit 40 and then you keep, adjusting, going out with people who, quote unquote, are not your standard, who you cannot, on a good day, relate with. But because you feel that you are at a certain point where you do not have the privilege of choice, you do not have the privilege of wanting what you want and standing your ground based on those beliefs that you have, you constantly find yourself making tweaks, compromises, all in the name of, I want to be whole, I want to be loved, I want people to accept me, I want to be part of a tribe. So back to my realization today. I looked at myself and I was like, in certain areas of my life, I couldn't recognize myself anymore because I had allowed myself to become a version of myself that I could not recognize. Adopting certain hobbies that naturally, I would never have been inclined to. Visiting certain places that on a normal day you will not catch me dead, Building habits, building culture, meeting friends, expanding your network to involve people who are like, no, what were you thinking, But I did this because, I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to expand my tribe. I wanted to network because that's the order of the day. Network. Do not live in solitude. Expand, branch out. No man's an island. You need to go out. You need to meet people. You need to break out of your comfort zone. It's called a comfort zone for a reason, according to Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory. But really, in hindsight, there are certain decisions I shouldn't have made. There are certain places I shouldn't have been. There are certain compromises I shouldn't have made. But, it's better to be able to tell yourself the truth at a certain point when you've not gone too far and, take corrective steps than to be too far gone and resigned to your fate. So, what am I saying? I know that life has its moments. I know that life sometimes puts us in situations where we feel that we do not have the luxury of time, we do not have the luxury of, being quote unquote selfish and taking decisions that are for our ultimate benefit, in spite of what the standards are, in spite of what the expectations of family are, in spite of what the expectation from friends are, in spite of what the expectation from religion is. I'm not saying Christianity or Islam, just saying religion as a, religion, for lack of a better description. I'm trying not to be divisive here. So we need to just, be bold enough to say, this is the line that I will not cross, and maintain that line irrespective of the situation. And to anyone out there who's, struggling with a decision, to be or not to be, to compromise or not to compromise, to remain fervent in my belief and my faith or not, to bend or break or stand firm, I encourage you today to just do an evaluation, take stock, review, and analyze. Can you live with a decision in the next 5 years? If you can't live with the decision, whatever the outcome, then by all means. But if you honestly review what it is that you're doing, and you say to yourself honestly that in 5 years' time I will definitely regret this decision, my advice is not to compromise. T.D. Jakes once said, avoid decisions that will complicate your life. And I stand by that principle. And it is one principle that has helped shape me and guide me after I realized that I was making decisions that were complicating my life, decisions that were putting me in situations that, in my right senses, I would not be in those situations. Avoid situations or decisions that will complicate your life. Pause, reflect, take time. No one ever died from taking their time to make a decision. The world will not end. Any decision that puts you under pressure to take it right now is not the decision you should actually be taking in the spur of the moment. Give accurate attention to those decisions, and you will see that, this too shall pass, and you are the better for it. I can guarantee you that. You will be the better for it. So see you in the next one. Ciao. Kisses.